A great concert, that one. Thank you very much for that, Carl. Well, it has been yet another busy week in politics, and Opposition Leader Tony Abbott joins me now. Good morning to you, Mr Abbott.
Morning, Lisa.
Now, Simon Benson in today's Daily Telegraph says he spotted a trend this week. I'm wondering if you feel the same way. Prominent female Labor MPs lining up to attack you in what he calls, unflatteringly, a handbag hit squad. I'm wondering if you've noticed it.
Look, it's not a phrase that I would use. It was a witty line that was used by one of my backbenchers during the week. I've certainly noticed a lot of criticism, but that's not new. I mean, if you get a flat tyre on the way to work, that's Tony Abbott's fault, according to the government. So I guess this is just part of their tactic, isn't it?
So you're not feeling bruised?
I am not feeling bruised. I accept that when you're the opposition leader up against a bad government, when you've got to deliver the message that this is a bad government getting worse, you get a bit of pushback. All
right, moving on now. Business leaders are calling for political advisors described as young, naive, expensive and just out of uni to be axed and replaced by impartial public servants, warning that up to $20 billion of taxpayer money has been wasted because of bad decisions. You and Julia Gillard are looking for cost savings. You're both promising a budget surplus. Wouldn't this be a good start?
Well, I certainly agree that this is a government which has often been at war with the public service. Kevin Rudd didn't get on with his public servants. Julia Gillard has problems as well. So I think it is important that effective government works responsibly and constructively with the public service. When I was a minister in the former government, Lisa, I worked very effectively with the public service. The Australian public service are highly professional. If you trust them, work with them, they'll nearly always get the job done.
Does it need a clean out, though?
I think the problem is the current government rather than the system as such. The current government has not been able to work effectively with the Australian public service.
Well, there's 420 ministerial staff right now. That's nearly 100 more than when you were in office. Would you look to cut that staff if you win this election?
We are certainly looking for savings, and as you know, we'll be announcing our savings in good time before the next election, and we'll have a commission of audit in the first months of government to try to look at every dimension of government, its agencies and its instrumentalities, to see how we can do things better. So we'll be looking at all these things, but I think it's the misuse to which political staffers have been put with dirt units and so on, rather than the fact that there are political staffers as such.
How much time do you think Labor, as you accuse them of having this dirt unit, how much time do you think they actually put to that? Well,
the interesting thing is, when the Treasurer, for instance, makes a speech, he is invariably attacking people, whether it's the evil billionaires, the mining magnates who he thinks are destroying the country, even though they're responsible for billions of investment and thousands of jobs. Now I gather he's having a go at the Republicans in the United States and saying that they're the greatest threat to the world economy. Well, this is a Treasurer who should do his own job better, not worry so much about criticising others. All right.
Yesterday you were ambushed by one of the chaser team when you were with Bali bomb victims. Let's take a little look at that vision.
You said that without causing offence you do not have free speech. Do you agree that we should be able to do that?
Do I have free speech to say that you're upsetting me?
The chaser boys are known for pushing the envelope. Do you think they went too far?
I thought it was a bit tacky. I was there with Peter Hughes, who was one of the Bali victims and since then has done the Peter Hughes Burns Foundation. I was there with Claire Marsh, who with her husband David have been running the Marsh Foundation to help hospitals in Indonesia. It was quite a solemn occasion. We wanted to try to encourage the Prime Minister to give modest assistance to the Australian victims of overseas terrorism, akin to what happens to the victims of domestic crime. And particularly for Peter and for Claire, it was a very emotional moment going into that garden of remembrance and pleading for the victims of terrorism, and to be interrupted by the chaser in a way that was neither funny nor sombre, I thought was just unnecessary.
All right, speaking of emotions, fairly emotional debate this week in Parliament over the gay sex marriage debate. It was, of course, defeated. You said that you're conflicted over the issue and now is not the time. When will be the right time for gay marriage in this country?
I'm a fairly traditional conservative person, Lisa, and
yet you've got conflict over it.
Because people very close to me obviously have a different view, and would like to get married, even though they're a same-sex couple. Now, in the end, it's possible to respectfully disagree, and that's what happens inside the Abbott family. Chris and myself respectfully disagree. Look, we've had the vote in both the Senate and the House of Reps. It was a fairly decisive vote. Let's let the dust settle before we go rushing into considering what the next step, if any, might be.
All right, OK. We are celebrating 30 years of today.
30
all
years
of this
young
week.
today.
That's right. Today's the big day. And can I tell you, one of the most often played and requested bits of footage that we've had on the show was a very special moment that we had on our regular Friday chats with you and the then Deputy Leader of the Opposition, now the Prime Minister. How do you feel when you look at that, Mr Abbott?
I just wish Julia would still come on this program on Friday mornings.
I'd be
happy to give her a hug. If she came back, there'd be more hugs.
Well, we would love to have her back.
It would save me from having to hug Carl, let's face it.
OK, one other moment that we love, you have proven that women aren't the only ones skilled with the iron. It was right here on the show. Let's have a look.
I believe that it is much better to do the buttons this way rather than try to go
face down.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
6.5. How many lessons did you have before you did that for us?
Look, many people have been attempting to get me to iron effectively over the years. I mean, Margie's been trying to get me to iron my own shirts, but I am resistant, deeply resistant.
Although you did seem to have a few tips. I think somebody had worded you up.
I had a few tips, yeah.
Good. It's nice when you're honest, Mr. Abbott. Thank you very much, and we do appreciate the effort that you always make to come in here. It isn't always... Well, it's always friendly, but you always step up to the plate. We always appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Lisa. And, yeah, look, we've had some pretty willing discussions, but I think it's been more light than heat.
And they will continue.
They will indeed.
Mr Abbott, thank you very much and good luck with Manly this weekend.
Thanks so much.
Over to you, Carl.
Oh, it was so good until the end bit, Lisa. Good luck to Manly. Give me a break.
It's his team.
Yeah,
nice.
but no one likes Manly. Up next, our favourite moments for our 30th birthday. Stay with us on